So this is Joe Wheaton again from Utah State University. I'm just going to do a quick wrap up and synthesis of Module 2 on the science. And so as a quick reminder, we talked for the last 3 hours about the underlying science and case studies that sort of paved the way for low tech and adoption of this as a standard of practice. Uh, we heard from me a little bit on just a reminder from Module 1 about the key processes of wood accumulation and beaver dam activity. And that sort of set the stage for Nick Bowis, who then talked about how we test the effectiveness of low-tech process-based restoration through these IMW intensively monitored watershed experiments. And he presented to you on the Bridge Creek IMW and showed a positive population level response to listed ESA salmon with using beaver dam analogs to promote beaver dam activity. He also showed you another example of a positive response in fish abundance from another BDA project on Birch Creek. Steve Bennett talked to us about a sister IMW project in the Asotin Creek, which is where we really tested the idea of post-assisted log structures and how we can use that to invoke the processes of wood accumulation. And then Jeremy showed how resilience can actually be measured from space from these low-tech projects and gave examples of, well, the Bridge Creek project that Nick talked about, as well as a project in Gunnison, Colorado using Z-dike structures, as well as a project just using grazing management and allowing beaver to come back into the system in Nevada. And then Jeremy and I went through and tried to highlight some of the interesting knowledge gaps that still remain, make the argument that we do know enough to invoke the precautionary principle and proceed through an adaptive management application of low tech. And we tried to argue that we should be co-producing science together, scientists and practitioners and managers working together, as opposed to scientists just trying to come in from the sidelines after the fact, which can often lead to really poor study designs. So that wraps up Module 2. And Module 3, if you are continuing on, is the next module, and that's on planning. And that is another half day. And that'll run about 3.5 hours. And you can go ahead and check those out. Then following that will be Module 4 on design and Module 5 on implementation. Again, all the resources that we've shared in this module are available on the website through the workshop page. So right now, if you're in the live version, we're breaking for lunch. And if you're doing this on your own pace, you're probably ready for a break anyway. Thanks so much for your attention.